can hear me over all of this wind noise and engine noise, but we're cruising down here about 65. We're at 2100 RPM. That used to be 2800 RPM at 65. Close to 3000. Now I'm barely kissing 2100, as you can see. I got my AFR pretty much dialed in right there by the gear bender indicator light. My Freeway AFR is pretty much dialed in perfectly for my cruising speed at 65 miles an hour. So the great thing is that, you know, you can sit here and cruise for miles and miles and miles and the gauge don't even move. Way to go, gear bender. Okay, so before the gear bender, a lot of this would be impossible. See, I'm going 70 and I'm at 2300 RPM. And I'm just cruising the motor. If you can hear the engine's just purring at 2300, it's happy. Now the sweet spot on this old 3/4 ton Ford is about 2500 RPM. That's the torque band. So if you're towing and hauling, that you wouldn't be lugging the engine down. But with no load on the engine, just cruising right now, 2300 RPM is perfect. You can still tow something with it. The beauty of the gear bender is whether you're a manual or an automatic transmission, you can kick the gear bender out. If you're pulling a heavy trailer, you probably want to keep it around 55 or so. But you can also split the gears with the gear bender as well. It's not just an overdrive over 55 miles an hour. It's a half a gear in every gear. So if you have a manual transmission, it really shines with the gear bender as well. It's like driving one of those old 70s cattle trucks with a split rear end. I mean, those things were awesome for towing and hauling. So here, you know, I'm cruising on the freeway, going down, you know, and going 70. You know, keeping up with the Joneses. Everything's sounding great, looking great. AFR is decent at 70. Like I said, I filled up my tank, so that's 16 gallon. But you can see, you know, we're cruising with the Joneses, you know. Something that was impossible before. So I'm loving the freeway driving, you know. I can't get enough of it. I hated driving this old truck in the city. It was just a waste, you know. It wasn't fun. It just killed the moment. Okay, I'm cruising down around 65. That's where I got the jetting tune so that I could squeeze every mile out of this thing on a long drive. Tuned up pretty good. I mean, I could go one jet size down, but then I would be in the high 12s, and the mid 13s is about as high as the AFR is going to go. So will I lose a few miles having it a little bit richer? I doubt it. But you know, that's the name of the game with this gas prices is that you're on a long drive, you want to get as much mileage as you can. Where this truck only got 11 if I was lucky before. I would say 9 to 11 before. So with the 16 gallon tank, I was only getting about maybe 80 miles before I had to fill it up. That's before the gear bender. So now I'm cruising at 65 and I'm at 2100 RPM. And it's kind of hard to really break in an engine well going from stoplight to stoplight. And before, at this speed right here, I would probably be already at 2700 RPM without the gear bender. So you see, we're going to bump it up to exactly 65. That's where I want it to be. And I'm about 2200, barely 2300, about 2200 RPM. We got our AFR down there taking up the slack. Okay guys, I came to the end of my drive. Took it out on the freeway tonight, and I just wanted to show you guys the speedometer, odometer I should say. It shows 58, but I know that I went about at least 65 miles or so. But the way that I got this fuel gauge pegged out is, let me get it here. Each line from empty going all the way to full represents 4 gallons of gas. My truck will run down to E, and at that point you need to get gas right away. It'll probably have a half a gallon, if that. So you're looking at going from E to full, you're looking at 4, 8, 12, 16 at full. I went about 65 miles, and you can see that the gas gauge is just a little bit below the full line. Now when I do fill it up with 16 gallons, it does go above full, but it takes 16 gallons from empty to above full. So I probably only used about 3 gallons on that 65 mile drive.